everybody. Welcome to another segment of Let's Connect Now. I'm your host, Monica, and I'm here today with two guests. One you probably already know. The other one you probably still already know. But I'm here with J.R. and Sarah from Medspa Deluxe LA. J.R. has his own show. What is your show called?
It's called J.R. and the Crew. And I actually had this wonderful guest on too as well, so we're excited.
Yeah, no, Sarah has been on both of our shows, but there's so much that she brings to the table when we have her, because there's so many different topics that I love to talk about. One being my favorite today is we're going to talk about sunscreen and how to take care of our skin. Especially right now that it's just been so freaking hot outside, scorching hot. I mean, I can even feel the heat through my window, through in my car. So, that's one of the things that I really want to stress on today, so that you guys can kind of get a better understanding of how damaging the sun can be to our skin. Yeah. So Sarah's a pro. So Sarah, tell us, how do we protect ourselves even when we're in our car?
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen, yeah.
I mean, it's just a one-word thing, right? So they're like, what sunscreen is best for you? And I heard recently it's like, whatever works for you, just wear one. You know, like at least wear something to protect your skin from the sun, because the sun is damaging. I watched something the other day and it says sunscreen is like one of the main causes of skin cancer, right? Mm-hmm. Like our skin is the biggest organ of our body, and we need to protect it. So if we're not protecting it, then we're not doing ourselves any due diligence by not wearing any sunscreen. So whatever sunscreen you have, whether it's this one that you're holding in your hand that you love very much.
Oh, because this is my ultimate favorite.
Yeah.
But before I get into my favorite sunscreen, one of my friends actually told me, what sunscreen are you using? Because she has a lot of acne. Mm-hmm. So the one that she buys, which I think, I don't mean to put anybody down, but it's from Neutrogena Face.
Okay.
And she said that it makes her acne act up.
Right.
So she's like, so I like shy away from it, because I don't know what to use. So then I said, you know what, I will ask for you, because her again, she has a lot of acne, and she said her face just gets like really clogged. Yeah. So so I guess what would you recommend? So I definitely told her about color science, right?
Yeah, color science is great. I think for acneic prone skin, there's no real great answer. It's like, what are the underlying causes of your acne? That needs to be addressed first before you talk about your sunscreen itself. Good. Keep wearing your Neutrogena or whatever sunscreen. Obviously, there's different sunscreens, and the SPF is most important. Reapplying is most important, but in general, having a sunscreen that you use is important. Her acne, though, if it's flaring up because of the sunscreen, there might be things here and there that you need to change. Like,
because I think she wears makeup too. She wears a lot of makeup. So I think when she applies the sunscreen, she's like, which one should I do first? I'm like, oh my God.
So she's probably already clogging her pores then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she probably is clogging her pores, but she's also not addressing the underlying causes of why she has acne in the first place. Is it your diet? Is it hormonal? What are you doing? What are you putting on your face before then? And then also, a lot of people are like, oh, well, my makeup has sunscreen. But your makeup sunscreen, like the contents of your makeup is your makeup, right? Your makeup is just sliding in that sunscreen in there to say that it has SPF, but it's not really doing any protection unless it's like an SPF 50 or above. Usually sunscreen makeup is like 10, 25.
Yeah. So
like
tell
that.
us the difference about SPF, and then there's other ingredients too that we have to pay attention to when we buy sunscreen, even if it's to apply in our body.
Yeah, so chemical versus mineral sunscreen. The one that we have today is a mineral sunscreen, which means that it acts on top. It acts as a barrier against the sun. A chemical sunscreen is penetrating into the skin, that is acting in combination to protect you from the sun. But a mineral acts on top, so it's literally a barrier between you and the rays. So it's a reflection, essentially. Like it's a mirror against it, so it'll bounce back off. A chemical is worse for the environment, but it also penetrates into the skin. And so that's how
bad.
It's kind of... I mean, a mineral sunscreen is preferred. Overall, it's preferred to wear a mineral sunscreen. But going back to the entire thing, wearing a sunscreen in general is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, because I know men, that's why I'm on the show, guys, because they want a man's point of view. So, because I'm guilty of it. I mean, I don't wear sunscreen because I feel like I wear a hat or I'm in the shade. But one of my questions is this, because we were talking about it before. People that work in the office, just because we work in the office, shouldn't we still wear sunscreen because of the lighting or the type of business that we're in?
Yeah, definitely. So like the rays that come from your computer, the rays
Yes.
that are coming from, even on a cloudy day, if you're like, oh, it's a cloudy day, I don't have to wear sunscreen.
Right.
There's still sun
Yes.
underneath the
Yeah.
clouds, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
you're not protecting yourself. It's sometimes even worse because it's like, it's a different kind of like intensity, right? That's the same reason you wear sunglasses. To protect your eyes, you're wearing blue, what is it called? The blue light sunglasses or blue rays glasses on the computer. You're still protecting your eyes, but what about the rest of your face? So I think
Oh
it's
wow, I
important
didn't
to
know that.
continue.
I
Me neither.
didn't know that.
Well, I did kind of, because when I went to somebody to get a facial and stuff, and they asked me, like you did, what type of business you do, and I said, well, I'm always in the lights and stuff. So just being in the lights, like right now, I should be wearing sunscreen, but we'll use some of this product right now, you guys. Don't worry about it. We'll demo this product.
Well, this is actually an intervention to JR because he doesn't wear sunscreen.
No, and we're trying to. I guess the whole goal today is to explain why we need to use sunscreen. I know my
Yes.
husband now. He's like. He's in a routine, like you got him thinking, because, your face is an investment too, especially, if we're getting, a little bit of, fillers or Botox or whatever. You want to protect that too, and you want to make sure that it lasts longer.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we're just like before, when I used to get, a little bit of touch-ups here and there, I would go running.
Yeah.
And I think within 2 months, I was like, okay, like, why is this happening? Because I wasn't protecting my face.
You're protecting your investment, right?
Yes, my investment, exactly.
Yeah, investment, whether
Very
you pay
well
for it or
said.
not. It's like, this is your moneymaker, right?
Yeah.
Even in
Exactly.
this industry that you guys are in, this is your moneymaker.
is.
Exactly.
So if you're not protecting it with sunscreen, I think that's, like, if you're not going to do anything else in your whole life, wear sunscreen. That's it.
Yeah.
Is there other things that we have to apply? Because, I mean, there is people that, that are in sports,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yes, like she was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately she couldn't be here. She got called into work, but she, like, for example, she's very fair. She has that type of skin that doesn't tan very well, and
So she burns.
Yes, she could burn
Yeah.
like severely. Yes, and so for me, educating her, because she plays soccer, she's she works out a lot, and just getting her to understand that sunscreen is so important, because she does carry one, but it's a spray, and she's just like shh, she sprays everything,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if you should be doing that, but I wanted to introduce her to this beautiful sunscreen
Yeah.
that you have available in your office, and because I'm in love with this, because this is
I am
actually
too.
like a bronzer.
It is. It's
Right?
perfect for your shade. And
Yeah.
so the beauty of this brand is that there's different shades, and there's one for you too.
And
It
it's
would be
50, and it's SPF 50, which is so awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
So this one would be for JR, right? Because it's a no-show sunscreen. So
Oh,
at some
okay.
point, what will happen is that it will keep rubbing it in. And
Just-
you know
just-
how like other sunscreens, not to like, this is not the only sunscreen we sell, by the way, but it doesn't feel sticky, right? Like
No, it
as you
doesn't.
apply
And
it
it's not heavy.
and keep rubbing it in.
Keep
Oh,
rubbing
yeah,
it in,
okay.
yeah.
And then when someone puts sunscreen, you can smell it, but not this one.
You guys smell it?
No, well, it smells pretty good, actually.
Okay.
The other one,
Yeah.
Like,
But just
And
rub it in, like,
at some point it's called no show because, and the beauty of putting sunscreen on is that usually you'll have like a purple hue to my sunscreen because I'm darker
No, it's
than all
gone,
of
yeah.
you guys.
No, but
at
a
some
lot of
point
times
it goes
too.
away.
Yeah,
right?
because some
Yeah,
people
it's gone.
you could see it all.
You could see
You,
it.
you could see the sunscreen when you put it on. I think that's what my friend was saying. She was saying that she could see it and she could feel it because it cakes out.
Yeah.
Especially if you wear
Okay.
makeup. But this one from Color Science, this bronzer, oh my God, I have it on right now and I don't need to wear makeup.
And sometimes you come into the office and I'm like, Monica, you look great. And she's like, I'm wearing a sunscreen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
oh
just
my
this.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our little touch-ups are, the
brushes,
the
yeah,
brushes
that'd be
that that you brought, which also come in,
Different
specific color.
shades.
Yeah, different shades.
So going back to like,
That's a brush sunscreen?
That's
Yeah.
a brush sunscreen, so you
Yeah,
can
like
reapply-
to retouch instead of
because
using
you're
your
supposed to
powder.
reapply sunscreen every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
it has a life of every 2 hours.
See, you can't tell that you have
No, it's
sunscreen.
gone. This
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
And
And it doesn't feel sticky.
It doesn't feel like a
No.
sunscreen, right?
Nope.
'Cause
It doesn't
sunscreen-
feel
Actually,
heavy.
it smells really good. It smells like a really good lotion.
No, but does it feel heavy?
Oh, it
No.
does smell really good. I didn't even smell
No?
it.
Yeah, no, this one for me, I mean, it's just like a miracle.
And
it's
so I
just
brought,
awesome.
not to reach over, but I brought different sunscreens because I thought Sam was going to be here. So I want you to try it. Not that this is for you, but even on a day that you need to wear makeup, there's different colors of the sunscreen because we want sunscreen that has makeup on it, not makeup that has sunscreen in it.
Oh.
Because the potency of the sunscreen is different, right? Because if you're selling me a makeup, yeah, it's going to have a sunscreen, and I'm probably going to get a little bit of effect, but it's sunscreen of 25, SPF 25 usually. And then on top of that, you see how it's a color?
Yeah, I can see the color.
So that's why Monica can walk around just wearing, that's not her color, but she could wear just her sunscreen and it looks like makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
looks
she's
like I put makeup
protecting
on my
her
hand.
face. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it has a little bit of a bronze, it's like a bronzer, so it makes you, it just,
like, gives you
yeah,
glimmer,
it just,
right?
yeah, it's pretty awesome. No, I love it. I mean, and again, investing in our face, especially if you're always in front of the camera, if you're, it's just finding different options, but still, getting that protection that we need versus, because anybody could go to CVS or wherever and get sunscreen, but is it the right sunscreen for you?
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. So again, going back to wearing any type of sunscreen is great, but then you think about this is water resistant, by the way. It's all mineral, which means that it's creating that barrier against you and the sun. But then let's talk about UVA and UVB rays. So UVB rays are the ones that are shorter wavelength, and they're going to potentially burn your skin. They're on they're more surface level to your skin. So UVB, B is for burning. It can potentially burn you. That's UVB rays. UVA rays go further into your skin, and that's what's causing DNA degradation. So it's degrading your DNA, but it's also aging you. So UVA is aging. DNA, it's like degrading your DNA repair. UVB is burning. It's more on the surface of your skin. So you want a sunscreen that's going to give you protection from UVA and UVB rays.
And are those store-bought as well?
Yeah, you just look and you're saying, oh, okay, this one protects UVA. Usually they do have both.
Oh, okay.
I don't think a sunscreen, if you're gonna declare yourself as a sunscreen, you should protect yourself from both of those things, UVA and UVB.
Interesting.
But I got a question with that is, you see a lot of people, and what are the levels or the signs that you see the people not wearing sunscreen when they walk into you? You know what I mean? They walk into your office.
I don't think there's, I mean, we can
Not
talk
levels, maybe I'm
about,
saying it wrong, but like you know when somebody walks in, you're like, they're at this stage, we can help them. Somebody else walks in, you're like, wow, they're at this stage, and now it's going to be a lot more treatment.
I'll tell you what. So for a while, I would get, every time I would get wax, I would get burned. And then for some reason, I think before I started, coming to you, it would get like super dark in here. It looked like I had a mustache. It was probably the worst thing I've ever experienced, and at first I thought it was hormonal, but then I figured out real quick that it wasn't. And once I started using sunscreen and I had the procedures done, the Morpheus 8, it's like a miracle. Like, it's just been like so awesome to not see that anymore, and to me, it's just, like I said, I think just protecting my skin, because any kind of, blemish or whatever, the sun can make it worse, right? And even darker.
Yeah,
especially on people that are, dark skin.
Well, you've seen sunspots, right? If you're going back to your question, a lot of people.
And I think that's what you refer to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, some of our
Our
colleagues
friends,
here,
yes. You told one of my friends.
We've talked to them, and we're like, oh, we have this pigmentation. I said, what side is your pigmentation on? And it's on your driving side.
Yeah,
so going
that's
into
right.
our next
That's right.
conversation, if I could pull up my phone, is this guy right here, right?
Wow.
So this is the perfect example of a truck driver. I don't know if we can see. We can probably put this on the screen later.
I think we can see it, yeah.
A truck driver who didn't wear sunscreen his whole life at all. Not on one side or the other side,
So
but didn't wear sunscreen.
but his left side.
But the left side that was not as exposed to the sun, was more exposed to the sun, has a lot different aging process than the side that didn't have as much exposure to the sun. And so that's the reason why you would want to wear sunscreen. And this is for somebody who's Caucasian, but for all skin tones, right?
No, that could happen,
but
right?
even people that are dark skinned need to protect. We need to protect our skin. It's not just for people that are fair skin. You know, because I think, I don't know what the difference is, but regardless, right? Regardless, because a lot of people tell me, like, why do you like to tan? You're already dark. Well, I love being in the sun. That's just, you know, I love it. Little did I know, though, that, you know, not that long ago, I burned my stomach and I blistered my stomach. Even though I sprayed myself, I still blistered, you know, and I was like, why did I get these blisters? And I guess and there wasn't even that much sun at the beach, but I still got some severe burns. And so for the body, like, what should we, this
actually has a body version too.
Okay, so these are for face, right?
These are for face. These smaller ones are for face, but it comes in a larger size for body too.
Oh, okay.
And so if you were like a person that likes to be in the sun so much, by the way, you can put this on your body, right? But it's not a lot of product.
Well, I put it like right here in my neck or whatever, but I never started putting it all over.
I went to Palm Springs this weekend and I used the bronze one and I was just glowing and shining and by the pool. But no, they're really great. So there's a lighter one too for JR on his other hand we're going to put on.
So do men actually also get the bronzer ones?
I would say so. I mean, unless you were doing, like, for instance, if he was on the show right now and he was doing something, and keep rubbing it. You got to keep, it'll fade into a non-color almost. This is called the glow. So the glow should be like just a really light hue.
I can still see the different
that's the fair, right?
Yeah.
So that's not obviously not your
away
color.
too.
And you just keep going. And at some point, it'll just be like, this is obviously somebody, also for somebody who's fairer.
Yeah,
it should just be a glow, a nice little glimmer on your skin. And so you could do one that's no show too. You don't have to have a glitter on your skin.
I don't know why, Sarah, but I also put it on my hands because when I'm driving, I feel like my hands get all the sun, right?
No. You could probably do a test right now on both your hands.
You can see the different skin tone.
You can see that this arm is probably a lot darker than that arm.
Yeah. No, because, you know, your hands tend to age just as fast as your face.
Yeah, for sure. And people get age spots on your hands too, right? Or sunspots on your hands. Sunspots
I didn't know that.
Hands is like a huge thing.
I'm literally learning a lot
on your hands. And I don't know if you've ever seen, like, older folks, they have a lot of sunspots.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to have to start wearing socks and stuff over while I'm driving.
No, but I have seen people.
The visor, socks.
No. I've seen people when I'm driving on the freeway, they're all covered up. I mean, mask and everything, like a whole their hands, everything, because they're protecting themselves from the sun. Maybe they have some kind of allergic reaction. I'm not sure, but I'm not afraid of the sun. I actually love the sun, and I love people that love the sun.
You don't like the sun?
No.
Why?
I'm not getting dark.
Why?
Because I don't like it. I like my skin tone.
See, okay, so some men, they don't like it. Yeah. No, because David
I'm metrosexual.
Huh?
David doesn't either.
He doesn't what? Like getting darker?
I don't
really care for it. Like, meaning that, like, there's different seasons, right? Like, you're going to get way lighter in the winter.
Yes, and I like that. I love that.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
At that point, that's a whole other topic about societal norms and topics of beauty and, like.
No, but I love this because I have been going to your, the medspa deluxe, and you guys have been taking care of it with me with the microneedling, and I've gotten stuff to put on my face.
Speaking of microneedling, what did I ask you to do after when you went to Hawaii? What was the one thing that I said you need to do?
Sunblock.
Yeah. Sunscreen.
Sunscreen, yes, sunblock. And I did put it. Yes.
And what is it even in the name? You are blocking the sun or screening the sun? Because we don't want those rays penetrating.
No, that's a good question. I'm going to start looking at that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that.
That could be a little confusing for a lot of people unless you know, but it's very important that that we ask a professional about that because that's important. The thing that you just mentioned, because some people, they don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And if in some a lot of the stuff that we buy at the store has so many different chemicals in it. That we don't know what we're putting in our bodies. That's so true. So for me, like I said, I mean, I've discovered this little miracle potion, and you know, I'm not gonna stop using it even in the winter, because the winter could also be damaging, you know, to your skin as well.
Yeah.
So
no, I like that.
I think also like the idea of blocking the sun is important, like you said, for every time that we're here, but like consistently blocking the sun, right? So even though you're out in the sun, if you're protecting yourself, you have a peace of mind that your aging process, even in the photo that you saw, that truck driver, you're prolonging the aging process of your skin because you're protecting it from the sun.
But I love the fact, because in the beginning you did say, and that was one of my fears, but after I got to see you, and yes, you told me it's about what I eat and I'm putting in my body, because I was hesitant to use sunblock because of that reason. So when you brought it up about her friend, that she would break out after she would use it, that was my concern, because I'm a oily person, and I felt like I put that on, I felt like more oily, and so I felt like that's why I broke out.
How does that
but
feel?
This one doesn't feel oily.
This feels normal.
Very,
like,
very,
it doesn't feel sticky like you said. Like the other stuff when you spray on it and you're like walking.
Well, that's a chemical, right?
Yeah,
that's
it's
a chemical sunscreen. So the difference between the chemical sunscreen and the mineral sunscreen, just to go back to that, is that the mineral sunscreen is a barrier that's protecting it from going in.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better than having a chemical sunscreen that actually penetrates into the surface of the skin to help block it. To help block it.
And it's definitely worth the price. I know a lot of people are concerned and they're saying, no, I'm just going to go to the, you know, CVS, wherever, and I'm just going to get this. But think about it. Is it really worth it, you know, to get that versus something that you know is going to, you know, protect your skin for sure? Because this stuff is just like, this stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it, and I can't say anything more about it. And I don't want this to be like a sales pitch for this, because it is great. It's really amazing. But I think the point that we also want to make sure is just that people are wearing one.
No, but it's worth it.
I've been a victim of going to CVS. I'm like, okay, which one is the cheapest? Which one is the cheapest? And I'll like go around the aisle. But you're right. You have to think about like, why am I even gonna wear this? Like, what is this doing for me? If I'm gonna go for the cheapest, is it really gonna give me the benefit that I need?
No, it's not. Yeah. So you're just basically hurting your body anyways.
Yeah, and I
just
don't mind.
To be cheap.
Yeah. And, you know, we're not making any money by promoting, you know, color science or anything like that. So we're not getting it for free either from Sarah or anything like that.
Well, we will tag you.
But, you know, but I'm a true believer, you know, that when I fall in love with something and I believe that it's working for me, I want the whole world to know, everybody that knows me to know that this stuff is great. Because I don't have anybody else telling me, hey, this sunscreen's good for you. No one. I have to try it first.
Yeah.
And if I don't believe in it, you know, I'm gonna say it, you know, hey.
And that's even how we got this in our office. Like, I went somewhere and I was like, brush sunscreen? This is awesome.
I never knew until
I never knew.
Yeah,
I know. So I'm like,
I never knew, but I bought one too.
Here we are. We can reapply, and they're in the shades of like, because obviously I'm darker than both of you, but I'm like,
I like that too, because you know you're standing around and all of a sudden you walk into someone's spraying, you're like, they're all spraying.
This gives you the like, if you're concerned about reapplying and you're wearing makeup, you're like, oh, I could just put this brush on and put it back on my face, and I can.
I wonder if a lot of women really know about this. Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think some women
I'm serious,
but women and men both.
I think every woman is aware of it, but I think some they just don't care.
Is it because maybe it's not accessible to them? You have to go
No, seriously, some women don't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh. So I have a question. I have a question before we go. But so how early should anybody start applying sunscreen? How early?
You mean early in the day or early in
the
age?
in age.
I think you should be putting sunscreen. I know that there's different sunscreen for babies and children.
Right.
But I think sunscreen, I mean, look, the fact that the sun is hitting, the sun doesn't discriminate because you're 2 months old versus 50 years old. You know?
Believe me, I know.
Yeah, so you should be putting sunscreen on immediately. If anything, your baby should have a different, I don't know if it's a different type, because to be honest, I don't treat babies, so I really don't know.
It's like,
but I think they're more susceptible because their skin is like
I think they can get
fragile,
burned.
right?
Their skin's more fragile,
and so they need to be protected too.
Yeah. So even during the winter, so I have to come back to the winter because I know, you know, all year long.
But
right?
I think the reason why you and I both love this sunscreen so much, and maybe you can attest to it now that you've tried it, you really
it's not
have
sticky
to
or anything.
feel
It feels.
You really have to feel it to believe in it, because you're like, damn, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. Where you wear other sunscreens and it's like greasy.
No, and I can smell it. Yeah, greasy. I feel greasy.
And then you look chalky.
You do if you're applying it with makeup. You know, we don't
like Chucky.
We don't carry this, but they have makeup too. They have lip gloss, they have blush, they have everything. And it's all sunscreen.
Yeah, so we wear sunglasses. The reason why we wear them is to protect our eyes, because they can also get burned. I found that out not that long ago, too, about my eyes. And
I didn't know that.
and our lips, too. They get dehydrated with the sun, and so they start, peeling, just like when the winter, when kids, their lips are all chapped because of the cold. So it's protecting, your lips, your chest. So a lot of, like a few friends of mine, they're a lot younger than me, and I'm saying like 15 years younger, and their chest, like this area here on their cleavage, already looks aged. And I'm like, oh, they're like, well, how come yours doesn't look like that?
And
they
I'm like, do this, but they forget right here in the sun when they leave it open. Wow.
And so it ages
this is interesting.
you.
I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate you coming on, Sarah. Like always, we love having you and having these talks. But if any of you want to know about, color science, just, stop by. Medspa Deluxe LA. They're located here in West Covina. We'll add the address at the bottom of this segment. Yep. And remember, this stuff is for men too. And don't be shy about it. Your skin is definitely worth it. So any last words, Sarah?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. Your skin is worth it. Your
that should be
skin
your
is
tag.
worth it. No, seriously. I mean, our tag is a little bit different, but this is a good one too. Your skin is worth it. This is your skin.
Like
this is your face. Whether you're working in an industry that you have to show your face all the time, or you're not, this is the most important part. This is the first part that everybody sees. And to your point, your chest too, your legs, everything needs sunscreen, especially when you're exposing it to the sun. But even when you're not, at least your face needs to be protected.
Well,
thank you, J.R., for being our model
it was a pleasure.
tester of all these sunscreens.
I know. I feel good.
Thank you so much. And with that, we're gonna say bye. Thank you again. Don't forget, you can always, call or just stop by and ask Sarah
sunscreen.
or the staff, about sunscreen, because your face is worth it, everybody. So we'll see you again soon.